Two, I'm here with Wanderers manager Marc White for a catch-up. How you doing, Mark?
Not too bad, mate.
Good stuff. Good, good. Right, I mean, obviously when we normally catch up, we're talking about football, but today this is a sort of a special catch-up off the back of the cabinet meeting last night, which approved in principle the sale of Meadowbank Stadium to the club. We've received some questions that we're going to go through shortly, but first and foremost, can I just get your initial thoughts following last night's meeting and decision?
Well, obviously it's just another step progress really towards the purchase. It's only principally agreeing the continuation of the process. So the cabinet, if you like, and the members, they spent an awful long time in consultation, months and months and months, and so the next step is they essentially want to undergo all the standard due diligence you would do and take it back to their scrutiny and cabinet. So there's still a lot to happen, if you like. That's the bottom line. But the appetite to dispose of the venue, if you like, is there, subject to all parties agreeing, and that includes the members themselves agreeing on the final sort of contract. I guess really is subject to contract really.
Okay, yeah, understood. And obviously a period of due diligence will follow, and obviously we will keep supporters and sponsors, etc., up to date on developments as they arise. Now, obviously on Twitter earlier, we asked people to send in questions if they had any. We had a very strong response, as you can imagine.
Well, I've literally only read the top one.
Okay, so there's an awful lot there, and what I would say to the people that are watching, apologies if you did send a question in and we don't get to it. We'll do our best to cover off as many as possible. If
they're sort of football based, I'll try and separate them, because obviously it's quite a big wide range of interest. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
So Steve's asked here, and this is the first time I've seen these. So Steve's asked if the council given any impression that part of the sale capital be directed towards new or weather pitches, which is really interesting because they absolutely should. I guess one of the frustrations, if you like, from our part in this whole process is that it is what's kind of been lost in all of this and not acknowledged, I think, disappointingly, is the overwhelming good work that our club does in the community. Now, obviously, I think that for the local authority to trust us essentially as a long-term custodian of that site speaks volumes for the reputation of the club. But of course, as in anything, you get disappointed parties, and in this case, you then get that thing where you get to see people's class, if you like. Do you know what I mean? Because I always feel like what's important in life is to, have balance. And having listened back this morning on last night's meeting and hearing kind of a combination of either uneducated views, and I don't mean that in a derogatory manner, or views with zero balance, it's quite disappointing. Dorking Football Ground has been the home of football in Dorking since 1950. So that would be, several years now. Was that 73, 73, 75 years coming up?
Yeah.
And in actual fact, when Dorking Football Ground was redeveloped in 2016, it was, I believe, signed off. It was actually signed off as a redevelopment of the dilapidated site that had been there previously, recognising the role it played in the community. It's actually signed off for, at the time, Dorking Wanderers Football Club and Dorking Football Club, with with zero community use on the horizon, and the community use stuff just got tagged on as a bonus, at the time, which, by the way, is fantastic and brilliant, because you can't get enough pitches for community use, and we're football people and we want as many participants as possible. But I think the point is that Meadowbank was never a venue that was the saviour of community football. So what clubs, there's no one can speak bigger than us about it, what clubs have done. In our case, we had to build our own facility for our kids. We had to get volunteers. We had to raise money. We had to, work with the local authority where applicable to find recreational green land, and I know that many of the other really respected local youth clubs, Dorking Badgers and Old Dorkinians and the likes, have grafted for donkey's years, voluntary, and to produce their own facilities. So what's kind of been created, and it is disappointing because it's this kind of like the world as we know it is going to end if Meadowbank stop hosting community football. Now, it's not going to. Because it's not our choice, because it has a main tenant, which is the Surrey County FA, and unless Surrey County FA have decided to reduce down activities, it's not something that we're interested in doing. We want mass participation. We actually want more participation. So at the moment, the site doesn't have any local schools use it, to our knowledge. We've got good links in all the schools. We offer free coaching and in all local schools. And what we're looking to do is actually increase participation. There was some crazy ass comment about that I said, I think, something about reducing usage. So someone somewhere grabbed hold of some, no idea what they're referring to. I think all we've ever been quoted as saying is we'd look to reduce anti-sociable usage where we could, with residents in mind, and replace that with more usage at times when the site's actually empty, which is, during the day often. So we're looking to increase participation at the site, to be really clear. Now, the point I'm going around the houses, because Steve makes a really good question, because actually this question from Steve Chandler Burrows is the crux of the whole matter, is that Dorking Wanderers aren't preventing football as we know it in Dorking for the community by purchasing the freehold, whereby they have absolutely zero impact on the decisions around usage. The real issue is that even with Meadowbank in place, there is still at least 3 pitches short in Mole Valley in a sport that, with mass participation now through the growth of ladies and girls football, has more desire than ever before. So the real issue is there isn't enough pitches. And what makes you laugh is the, and I'm not one for politics, but you know what I mean, but I just think it's embarrassing for minority councillors to not really, show any form of balance, not even understand the fact that there's a severe shortage of pitches, and not actually bang that drum. Because the real thing is actually we need more pitches in Mole Valley. What can we do about that? That's the real thing. So I would like to think, with a significant capital receipt, that Mole Valley would either contribute, create a facility, or actually just create a grant facility where existing clubs can actually upgrade their facilities maybe. We've got a site which has got permission for artificial. I think many of the recreational sites that I know of locally would not be denied it, because most of them have covenants whereby it encourages participation. So yeah, it'd be nice if there was an acknowledgement of that, 100%, from all and sundry.
Yeah, it's a good question from Steve, and it was also positive to hear that Councillor David Draper did acknowledge that. Actually, he referred to it last night during the meeting.
Yeah, one of the members acknowledged that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to be clear on that one is like, no one should be hoodwinked by, by minority sort of councillors or organisations that kind of create this facade that Dorking Wanderers have anything to do with the decision making at Meadowbank for community use. I find it hard without putting it into words that offend people, but this has actually been evident in the white paper that was put out from Mull Valley Council months ago. And these councillors are representing their constituents. If these people never get a vote again, I can understand why. It's either blind ignorance or just something worse than that, to actually not acknowledge what's actually going on. So, yeah, Mull Valley needs more pitches. It would be good if all the people representing constituents in the local area acknowledge that and actually really work towards things that can be impacted, really. Good question. Sorry to bang my drum on that one, but obviously when you sit and listen to 4 hours of largely people with not a clue what's going on, it is difficult. I mean, the funniest part was that the Mull Valley Council might not have consulted. I mean, little short of going around people's houses and staying there for the night and making dinner for them. I don't know what else they could have done. It's been going on months. They couldn't have had more meetings if they tried. It's just amazing. I've never really been exposed to the underworld, really, of this type of thing. It's disingenuous. It's awful the way people carry on, downright prepared to lie, corrupt, not read things properly, and that's disappointing. Positively, we need more pitches, definitely, and that's a good question. Phil Ellams, I recognise that name.
Season ticket holder.
Okay, there you go then. Cheers, Phil, season ticket holder. Says, apart from saving 6 figures, what are the advantages of owning Meadowbank? When you inherit a tenant with a large lease who controls pitch usage, well, at least Phil knows. When there's numerous restricted covenants, well, all the covenants have got to be, we've all got to fully agree on what they are, what parameters they are, but there will be community covenants, which obviously we've said we're fine with. It's basically like anything else in this world, really, Phil. It's owning the site enables us to be more sustainable, because we're able to, it's not just about the pitch hire, it's also about the maximising on the footprint in terms of the existing operators. That would be soft play, etc., the car park, and also Surrey FA. And just why money's mentioned, there's this incredible thing about it's again, I find it quite difficult to explain, but nicely, but all of the interested parties representing taxpayers are blindly ignoring the fact that under the previous leadership, the site got given away on a profit share arrangement for 45 years to a charity, and by that I mean Surrey FA, a charity that's not, its number one foremost thought is not to make money. Now, arguably, you could say that not making money, community usage is fine. And I actually wouldn't disagree with that. And if that's the case, then that'd be great, because we could also save £120,000 a year that we pay for the luxury of providing all the participation that we do and all the benefits to the town. The fact of the matter is, the performance of the site could be greater, and there is a profit share arrangement in place. So the freehold, if you like, is at the moment Mole Valley, and then if the sale goes through, Dorking Wanderers would benefit from that. So I think if you look across the long term, there'll be several benefits to having, like anything in life, going from renting the house to buying it. But we want to help the site be more successful, not just the football pitch, but the soft play, the aspects that almost regenerate the park, if you like. We've got an unblemished record of providing success for the local community. We do tireless work in schools, local charities. We're local people that want the best for the town. So, yeah, it'd be exciting to be able to work with the operators to improve the footprint for the good of everybody. I'm going to try and put any football ones to the side. I've not read them, so apologies. Tim Holt, what the purchase of the stadium brings to the club? Well, just everything I just said, really. Just the ability to make the site more successful. Can you guarantee to go with the stadium site you'll not close the soft play? Well, not in a million years, no. It's not our business to close it. There's a lease on that with Veritas or somebody else, but actually, with that particular part, we would like to improve it tenfold. We want to make it a much better facility, purely for local families. We've looked at a few different models that we think would take the facility at the moment from where it is at maybe a 3 out of 10 in terms of look, feel, functions, operation, to an 8 or 9 out of 10, I think, which would be incredibly popular. So, no, the complete opposite, looking to do way more with it. Come back to the football ones. Does Meadowbank have the ground, potential, development, future ambitions? Would Dorking need another site? I think I think the previous capacity there was 1,000 higher or more than what it is now. I think it could comfortably host football a league or two above. Market towns like Dorking, there's a capita on how far you can take a football team. None of us like to admit that, when you're involved in football. But realistically, yeah, I think Meadowbank is going to suffice for as big as this club, can be. 1 or 2 divisions, I'm sure. Alongside that, we've then got the other sort of red herring being thrown in there by people about the artificial hybrid pitch, So just to reiterate that for those of intelligence who want to write it down. It's not our choice. We are the owner of the site. If we are successful, we are not the people with the head lease. Unless Surrey FA want to make it a hybrid pitch, and there's actual loads of reasons why they might want to, then it's not our business. There's a hybrid pitch. There was a classic last night with people being prepared to say there's another club where they now don't do any community football, right? Well, that's the other club's choice. But actually, hybrid pitches, there's a different range of them, and if Surrey FA ever chose to amend the pitch, you can get several hours community use out of a hybrid pitch. Several hours of use. But again, that is not our business. And actually, even though it's not our business, if we were successful in the freehold purchase whole process, it's still going to say there's caveats and covenants around providing community use. So It's completely covered. Everybody knows that. It's been in the white paper for a long time that people have read. Connor Pierce. Additional insight into the process till now that Dorking would have had to go through. Commercial opportunity to sell them about enables. What plans do we have following the sale? Will anything change day to day? On a day-to-day basis, nothing changes whatsoever. The existing leaseholders of the soft play and football facility carry on with their business. We'd like to help them be more successful. We believe that we are very good at what we do. The club has got a very big infrastructure, and the club's actually got, I think at last count, over 55 full-time staff and about 100 volunteers. So we'd like to think we've got a lot of skill and mechanisms in the club to really help those leaseholders achieve their goals at the site. But nothing changes day to day. Ultimately, no one has to talk to us as the freeholder. That's the bottom line. We would have no plans really other than to try and improve the site working with the leaseholders. Commercial opportunities. Yeah, I think there's loads of commercial opportunities that arise in the site, but nothing of this sort of like, again, covering off the, I mean, you've got the classic in there of it not being redeveloped. Now, I actually understand that long term, of course. But, for those that don't know, this is a club that's built its own ground from scratch at West Humble, raised income, volunteers. Very big community project is Dorking Wanderers, so there's definitely no plan to finish that and build a supermarket. So, but I totally understand that needs to be protected, and they've talked about this ransom strip and all the rest of it, which I totally understand. Process we've gone through. That's a really good question from Connor. Well, the minute we expressed our interest to Mole Valley, we then respectfully told the Surrey FA. We've then had probably, I would say, the best part of half a dozen full presentations to council, another 2 or 3 sub presentations, Connor, to wider groups such as scrutiny committees, and I think really to demonstrate that we would be a custodial, trusted custodian really, if they were to sell this asset, and just so we've gone through significant process so far, but no doubt, Connor, more process to follow. Just to add into what I was saying earlier, the site's been essentially, when it got signed off for Dorking Wanderers and Dorking Football Club, it was signed off on the premise of a return, and that's why it's, the kind of existing council, but like a vindicated with, actually getting a receipt, selling it and getting some money back in the pot, because the previous leadership that put in place the agreements that are there on a profit share basis, have essentially sold the property for nothing for 45 years. Now, that's not me for 1 minute saying the Surrey FA have done anything wrong. I mean, fantastic, it's a great deal for them, and I respect that. But as a taxpayer and, part of a committee that have a big say in the local community, that investment is gone, and actually the local authority selling the site is a way of getting money back in the pot for further investment. Now, I'm not saying for 1 minute, by the way, just to be really clear, my personal opinion is that there should be no return on a community site. That's my personal opinion. And that includes Surrey FA charging us 120 grand a year for all of our activities. I believe community football should be, especially for the cornerstone team, that in every town and place that I know are paying peppercorn rent for facilities due to what they bring socially and, to the economy. I could make an argument that places should not give any return, and they should just be actually invested in, like many things are invested in for the local community. However, this was signed off Meadowbank on the basis of a return, and it's not made a return, and it looks not like making one. I think that's why, and that's what Connor's question prompted. That is why Mole Valley councillors see it, I guess, as a sort of a collect button on the fruit machine, because the reels are spinning, but there's nothing coming in. So that's my feelings on it, to be honest with you. Does Mark have an idea? Changing the pitch, improve facilities, take each bit at a time? Yeah, I mean, basically, we're not able to make any decision for Surrey FA in place around anything macro. But as freeholder, there's an awful lot of, I think, working together can be done for the maintenance and the upkeep of the facility, because these places all look good and well when they're 3-4 years in. When they're 10-15 years in, the kind of repair and damage and weathered effect can be quite significant. So it'd be good to really always work with them on that one. So this is from, let me see, Emily. Just on comment on the Southern principle. Oh, okay. I think that's asking for a comment to the paper, which I think we've done that one, but that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
The comment is, it's work in progress, Emily. Long way to go. One of our supporters here, I'll just cover the things I've not covered already. Would it be practical to move a synthetic pitch to West Humble? Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we've got permission for an artificial pitch at West Humble. We'd like to be part of a local, local youth clubs that really make a plan to try and put 3 to 4 pitches across 3 to 4 venues, because ultimately that is what is required. I know from our point of view, we've got a huge amount of teams that have to train on pitches where they're clearing up dog mess, and I know that's the case for all the other teams that use Meadowbank as well. So there's a significant problem, I would say, definitely. Ground improvements, none really more in mind at the moment. I would like to make it a bit more resident friendly. I think it could have more enclosure as a ground. We go around the whole country and residents like it to be as sort of compact and noise free as possible, and the kind of the openness of Meadowbank does not help that. Other grounds we go to sometimes, just where they've got like roofs, very kind of in-keeping roofs on all 4 sides and stuff like that, they tend to contain the noise a lot more. So I think there's clever noise profiling, if that's the thing that could be done with a site, but that's about it really. That's about that. Where do I see us in 10 years? Well, we're near the relegation zone right now, Sam, so who knows? Who knows? But in terms of the club, our dream is to. What we love about our club is what it does really primarily socially. we're really proud of the amount of kids that wear the shirts with their mums and dads and come and watch the team and also participate in the mornings on various pitches. You know, so we just hope that we can continue to, you know, continue our work in the community, both on and off the field. You know, that is the core function of a football club in a local town, is to be a social hub, and, you know, win, lose or draw, that is the fundamental aim of a well-run football club, and that's what we're always working towards. I'll come back to the football ones. Outside looking in, long-term aim, same again then. Sustainable hub of the community. Henry, Proud Block, need to change the surface. Does that mean we're out the running for promotion? On the surface one, no, because there's loads of there's hybrid surfaces that pretty much cater for the same usage anyway. No, because there's a strong chance the rules will change around it anyway. And no, because I just don't think we're anywhere near that level of consideration for that level of football. So it's not really something that we're bothered about, really. Scope for club shop, yeah, that'd be nice. I think that'd be really good to put a club shop in the place and for the kids, etc. And that'd be great. If it goes through naming rights, extra revenue streams, stadium sponsors, yeah, all of those, all the above really, are definitely more attractive to people. Luke's saying about coming down. Fans of the club, yeah, come and grab us, Luke, when you're down, mate, for the Woking game. Hopefully we're in a good mood.
That wasn't even a question, was it? But it was a nice comment.
Nice comment.
Yeah.
And I'll come on to the last. I just want to it's a football question, this one, but at least it's authentic. If you didn't read them in advance, I'm planning the replies. I just made a few notes, actually, on my phone from last night, actually, from when I listened to it this morning. We'll make sure I've covered it, really, but I think I probably have. I think the key bit, the key in terms of Meadowbank purchase, the key takeouts are, and I would ask everybody who truly represents their people to understand the facts that, first of all, nothing changes because the existing leaseholders are in situ. Okay, that's what I would say. Secondly, acknowledging that we want to increase participation of the site, that would be paramount to where we see it. And thirdly, you know, the real acknowledgement here, the real acknowledgement for those that truly aren't interested in whether it's what side of a political fence you sit on, and it has become a political argument, unfortunately. The real argument for those people that really do truly represent their people is that there was a shortage of pitches, and that's got to be recognised in Mole Valley. But it's not just about the council. I don't think local authorities, you know, are there just to shell out money. Like, we've ourselves built, designed, paid for, you know, bled our fingers to the bone to develop what we've got from nothing. So it's also about clubs getting out there and utilising their volunteers and their recreational land. There is a lot of funding available as well. And there is green recreational space in Dorking as well. So for me, beyond what Meadowbank does for the community, you know, let's remind everyone that Meadowbank was never there for all these clubs 4 years ago. So all of these clubs 4 years ago, including us, were out there creating our own facilities, working on them, you know, applying for the applicable funding through the FA, Sport England, Football Foundation. None of that changes. The Meadowbank purchased Dorking Wanderers, whilst we understand fully the reason to covenant community use, etc. But it's not in any way, shape or form the be-all or end-all of football in Dorking or sport in Dorking. So it's important, and hopefully those watching that are fair and balanced would acknowledge everything that we've said. I can't say anything more than what I've said, and everything I've said has been in a white paper and press releases of ours for eternity, for a long time. Yeah. So, listen, we're just going to work with the local authority. If anyone wants to, contact us directly, constructively, then obviously we've got a big, broad committee, and we've got people assigned to different items such as youth football, etc. And we're always happy to talk. Listen, I think just from our part, just spare the argument on us. We're good people. We do incredible things in the local area. We work tirelessly in schools with local charities consistently, and we're allowed to want to broaden our club's horizon, and I don't think it's fair or reasonable that any counter argument is made without balance or without looking at the facts. Yeah.
Okay.
I think what I'll do, I'm going to give you Lucas's question. You can ask me on Friday. It's a football one for Lucas.
Okay, we'll say
ask me Friday. I've got severe toothache.
Yeah, no, I know you're struggling a bit. So thanks, Mark. Thanks for your time, and also thanks to our staff, supporters, sponsors, of course the residents and the respective members and officers for their support to date. We do appreciate it, and obviously, as I said at the start, we will keep you posted on progress in the coming weeks. And and I'll catch up with you on Friday, Mark, and we'll talk about football.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Look forward to that. Cheers.
Good, mate.